If you don't schedule your exercise, your fitness plan, it will likely not happen, right?
Yeah.
You put in your calendar your dentist appointment, your doctor's appointments, your hair appointments. Why not schedule your workout time? If you are someone who is stuck on time and have kids or whatever, don't overload yourself and overwhelm yourself with the idea that you have to go to the gym. You can be effective by doing workouts at home. There's so much technology out there for somebody to use. Welcome to another episode of Fitness Friday. I also want to say something because I always forget, especially lately. Guys, can you guys please leave comments and reviews and subscribe to YouTube? I can't tell you how important it is. I'm so remiss in talking about it, and it really makes a difference in the algorithm. So I want to get that out of the
It
way
also
right
helps
away.
to find out like what people like, what they think,
Exactly. That's why comments are so important to me,
Yeah.
because if there's something that maybe you're just interested in knowing, or a guest that you'd like me to try to get, let me know, because without your feedback, I'm just kind of going rogue and
Yeah.
just doing what
It's
I
like a
want to do.
one-way street. It's not like a conversation.
Exactly. Which actually is a great segue into this, because I have Liron back on the podcast today, talking all about health and fitness, since it is January. And if you guys don't like him, for example,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Just comment don't like.
Yeah. No, that would never happen. By the way, what I have
There's always
noted,
someone.
what was that?
There's always someone.
There's always somebody, for sure. But I will say, and I think I've said this to you so many times, and I tell this to I talk about this about a bunch. I think that people who have males who have a British accent crush on social media and on podcasts. People like,
Believe that.
it's crazy. Like, you don't have to have anything else going for you except,
Which I don't.
and there you go. So it works perfectly.
It's perfect.
Because it's literally like, if you have a British accent and you are a quasi attractive male, your numbers are just going to naturally just do well. It's really, it's like, I think people should do like a case study on it.
Yeah.
I think people love listening to a British accent.
Yeah. That's like pretty universal. And I don't know why it is, but even me, like if I hear a British accent, I automatically think, oh, well, I take this thing more seriously. If they're selling me a product, it could be the worst product in the world, but I take it a bit more seriously.
100%. Like, you could be the stupidest human on the planet,
Right.
but if you have a British accent, you sound smart automatically, and you sound like you know what you're talking about, which is so deceiving, because I know a lot of people who are from the UK and probably not the smartest, but I get tricked and fooled every time. Hence why you're here over and over again talking about fitness.
Yep.
No, I'm just teasing. You are knowledgeable and very likable. So I figure, we do these like quick episodes, and it is January, as I'm sure we all know. It's always a new year, resolutions, all that stuff.
Yep.
And then people like start to flail by what, March, April?
You get to March, good for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Haven't you noticed, if you go to the gym in like January, it's full and packed, and then literally like in 30 days, it's become like a ghost town.
Yeah.
It's crazy how
the
that
resolutioners go back into their cave.
I know. So let's talk about this, right? Because I mean, this is something we talk about year after year, everyone does. And why motivation? Number one, I don't believe in motivation. I think motivation wanes. And I think that if you're relying on motivation to get you from point A to point B to point Z, you're really, you're going to have a problem, because there's no way you can always be motivated. So I think that people should be doing things no matter how they feel. You don't act based on how you feel. You act based around what you want to achieve, right?
100%.
But with that being said, how can we keep people? What are the best strategies to get people to stick with their fitness goals, with their health goals, right? Because to me, you know, fitness is so much more than just building muscle. It's so much more about like your like overall longevity and health over time, your cognitive functioning, just your ability to like walk through the world healthy for longer. The quality of your life is so much more supercharged than someone who doesn't exercise and take their fitness program
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how people don't,
seriously.
I don't know how people don't work out sometimes. I'm just like, so what do? You just go home from work and you like eat pasta and put the like TV on. Like it just, I don't really get it. Like you feel so much better and you function so much better when you're working out that I
Yeah,
don't get why people wouldn't.
I do. I do, but I do get it. So I'm like you, obviously. I believe that like fitness is like a transformative thing that really changes your life in every way, like I just said. But I think that you have to get it to a place where it becomes habitual
Mm,
for you to really feel the results. Because for me, when I'm not working out, I feel it. Like my mood is really bad. I'm in a
mm,
bad mood. I'm not as focused. I'm really scattered. I'm not as productive. Like this whole myth of like you have to, you have to like feel like it. Like you have to feel you've got to have the
yeah.
energy to work out. Like all of these are
Mm,
excuses and myths.
mhm,
Because to me, even when I feel like shit, I work out because I know I'll feel better after I work out.
yeah.
Um, like I don't know anybody who said they felt worse after working out.
Yeah. No. And that's what I tell people, especially my clients. I'm always like, I think the difference between people who work out regularly and people who don't is when someone doesn't work out regularly or struggles to get into a workout habit, it's because their brain is picturing how it's going to feel like getting to the gym and walking in the door. And people who are successful and have stuck with a workout plan are thinking about how they feel when they leave the gym. So everyone feels better after a workout, 9.9 times out of 10, unless you're like sick or something like that. But you're always going to feel better when you leave the gym. And fit people, people like you and me who go often, are subtly and unconsciously thinking about, they're weighing heavier the feeling of leaving the gym and feeling good and accomplished and having your juices flowing and being charged up. And people who struggle are unconsciously weighing the feeling of getting to the gym.
Yes, the feeling so getting versus leaving,
Right.
basically. Okay, so here, I have some stuff here. I want to talk today about building fitness habits that actually you can stick to or that will stick for 2025. Because to me, it's all about building habits. That's how people really end up doing things consistently day to day. If it's not part of your daily routine consistently, you will flail and it will fall off.
Mhm.
So, to me today, I want to talk about building fitness habits that stick for 2025 and beyond. So, and the reason why this is so important is unless it becomes habitual, you will not stick to it. And it has to be part of your day to day routine. And that's why my first tip into making a habit habitual is to schedule it. If you
Mm.
don't schedule your exercise, your fitness plan, it will likely not happen,
Yeah, that's for sure true.
right?
Yeah.
You put in your calendar your dentist
Mm.
appointment, your doctor's appointments, your hair appointments. Why not schedule your workout time?
Or at the very least, a window of when it's going to get done. Whether it's
Well,
1 or 1:30, like there's got to be some window. This is my workout time.
I think you have to be more specific than that. I think the more specific you are and don't leave things to chance. Like don't leave it to like this window between 1 and 3, like the telephone guy who comes to your house to fix your phone or your internet. I think you have to be as deliberate and specific as possible to make it work. So every morning I will say if I'm not on that treadmill by 9:15, like that's my time. And so, yeah, you can have some flexibility. That's what, like when I say make it as specific as possible. Have a time that you're aiming for. Exactly, like 9:15. So if you get on at 9:45 or 9:30, fine. But at least when you're specific, you have like a target that you are going for.
Yeah.
That helps. That helps a lot.
100%.
Um, Another really big one is making it convenient. Like there's a reason why my first book, my first company in the fitness space was called No Gym Required, and this was like 20 years ago. Is because you don't need to go to the gym to be fit, to be healthy. It's not necessary, right? And a lot of times there's a lot of it's not convenient, like it's 20 minutes away, it like things can happen in those 20 minutes. If you are someone who is stuck on time and have kids or whatever, don't don't overload yourself and overwhelm yourself with the idea that you have to go to the gym. You can be effective by doing workouts at home, right? Like there's so much technology out there for somebody to use. They can use YouTube, they can use all these apps, they can use there's like so many ways that they can like get a 30-minute workout in that takes out the problem of lead time, like drive time,
Yeah.
walk time
Agreed.
to the
100%.
gym.
Agreed. 100%. The convenience factor is really overlooked. I always tell people that when they're asking about trying to start a fitness routine, I'm like, ultimately, the only thing that's important is that you actually do it. And so if something's really inconvenient to the point where you can't or you just don't want to do something, like if the gym is too far away or the parking isn't fun or whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that barrier is, if you can't surmount that and you don't go, then you could have the best gym in the world. You could have the best membership in the whatever it is. But if you're not going to go, it's a waste of time. So
Right. It's also like an excuse factor. Like eliminate the ability to have excuses. Right. If you eliminate that as an excuse, you can't lean
yeah,
on it. And like people who live in really cold climates, like if it's super cold outside, that should not deter you or stop you, whatever, to go and do what you need to do.
yeah.
So that's a big one. And I think that and that also goes with like the type of exercise, right? People always say, what kind of exercise? Like it's not really so much about the exercise you're doing, it's about the consistency of doing that
And it
thing.
depends where you're coming from. So if you're starting from zero, which a lot of people are, I don't know who your listener base is.
I don't think people are starting from zero. I think a lot of people, it's been like a big, like, it's been a very trendy thing. Like, fitness, longevity, wellness has become a really, in my opinion, has become a very trendy thing
Mainstream.
now.
Yeah.
The problem is too much information can also make you have analysis paralysis, right? You hear of what this is the workout you should do. This is the diet you should do. This is the supplement you should do. Simplify your life and stop listening to everything and like figure out like what you can actually do and be realistic with that stuff.
Yeah.
So to me it's like, like even though I love running, you hate running, all right? So then don't do it. Like, right? Like what can you do from your home? Like to me, like this is a whole other podcast that we could do, which is about the myths, right? Like about workouts that work the best versus things that work like things that don't work. Honestly, at the end of the day, the amount that the decimal point of like what actually moves the needle is very little. The thing that moves the needle the most is being consistent over a period of time that will get you results. So it's not about the actual workout you do. If you love Pilates, do Pilates. If you love, cardio, then maybe you should do cardio if that's the gateway drug to get you to exercise, right? Like that to me is more important. But if you're doing, I think walking is the best exercise. Like it's the most convenient. There's no barrier to entry and it can start you on a path to exercise and health.
I think with fitness, as with pretty much anything, if you want to achieve anything of consequence, you have to use the momentum factor. So
Exactly.
if you don't have any momentum, if you were injured or you're sick or you haven't worked out for a year or two or whatever it is, then you need to just move. You need to do something. And walking is probably your best like your base. And people should be doing that all the time anyway. People should be moving, period. Like whether you're old or young or heavy or light or man or woman, like everyone should be walking a good amount because it's literally how our bodies were designed.
You know, there was like a lot of chatter last year about like how walking isn't enough for a workout plan. And I beg to differ because what I've noticed is number one, especially if you throw on a weighted vest, you can get
Rucking.
like that's a rucking. I don't call it rucking. I
Yeah.
just call it walking with a
No, I
weighted
know,
vest.
no, I get it.
You know,
It's a trendy name that
it's
somebody used to give themselves a little bit of clout, but yeah,
okay. Let's call it
weighted
rucking. Let's
walking.
call it
Yeah.
just call it like walking with a weighted vest. It's so good for
I was
you.
doing it with my 28-year-old son for a while. I just put him on my front.
28-year-old son.
28-year-old, 28-pound
Oh, son. Yeah. Okay, that
weight.
makes more
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
That
That
would
makes
be
more.
amazing.
That would be crazy.
If
I'm
at
like, wow.
36 I had a 28-year-old son, period, and then I put
That's
him on my front.
did
That would be
it worked really well because you're
that would
really
be
fit.
fantastic. Yeah.
Well,
But no, unfortunately, he's just 28 pounds, not 28 years old.
28 pounds is still a lot though. But okay, the thing is though, like walking to me like gets, you know, it number one, it clears your head
Yeah.
just for the mood factor of like boosting your mood. I think that in itself is worth
Because it's
a
how we're
lot.
designed. It's like literally in our DNA. We are designed to walk. It's what separates us from the whole animal kingdom, pretty much, is that we're bipedal when we walk, and that's how we're meant to function. So we're not gonna work very well if we're not doing these basic things that we're designed for.
Yeah.
And walking is literally just how we're built, how our bodies are built.
I could yes. So let's get back to building the fitness habits that will actually work. Scheduling your workouts. Please make it, put it in your calendar, put it in your schedule, making it as convenient as possible to eliminate that excuse. The other thing is joining a fitness community of some kind. Like there's so many right now. Do you know there's a huge movement of like how it used to be that people like meet up at bars
Oh yeah.
and
Like run
clubs?
clubs and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
no,
yeah.
like the people meet at bars. Now people are doing the same type of like cool events at like coffee shops,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, for like like-minded people.
Yeah.
Because fitness has become more trendy.
Yeah.
There's so
It's,
many,
it's a positive social change for sure.
it's a great
I heard about
positive
one called
social
Coffee and Chill. Did you hear about this one?
coffee and chill.
Coffee and Chill. So I guess that I don't really, I heard it in a cursory way, but someone said that there's a club where everyone like drinks coffee and then goes to the sauna and then gets in ice baths together.
Yeah.
And it's definitely like it's a scene. Like from the way the guy was describing it, he was like, "Oh, there's chicks there and all this type of stuff."
Yeah.
But I think people clearly need that's like a human thing. Like we need that, especially if you're single. But even if you're not, we need this. We need to do things tribally. Like it's literally how we are. That's why we're so tribal about our
agree.
politics. And I think tribalism should stay out of politics. And I think fitness is a much better place for tribalism because you push each other and you know it's a positive feedback loop. And whether it's getting in ice baths or working out or whatever, we do need that sense of we're doing this together. We're in this together.
I also think that people bond over sharing experiences.
For sure.
Like, and so if I go to these places and I meet somebody who also likes the sauna and cold plunge and workout, I mean, and then we do those things together, it bonds you because you're doing these experiences together, right? Like, and it's a way better way of life than like going to a club and just like, you know, drinking a bunch of like, you know, just basically bonding over getting drunk together.
Yeah, not even remembering what you did.
Right.
Waking up the next day and be like, "What happened last night?"
And then
like, what did you get out of that?
and by the way, if you're doing that, your personality has been modified. So how do you guys really interact in real life doing like real things,
Yeah,
right?
you didn't integrate any of that. That didn't build your life in any way, shape, or form. I get it. Look, I used to do it all the time, but that you're not building anything like that.
No,
you know?
I agree. Like I think that's a really positive way of for people to socialize, like finding, and that's how you find people that like to do the things that you like to do, right? So I love these coffee and chills or these other, I wish I can remember the article I just saw about how they're like getting like these like cool DJs to like spin at whatever coffee shop and people are just like drinking matcha or like a cold brew or
Yeah.
whatever and just like also just like hanging
You're
out.
doing all the things that we would previously doing at clubs, except you're doing it a bit more during the day and you're not filling your body with poison, but you're getting really all the upsides without the downsides.
Yeah. And you're
You're
fine.
not going to sleep at 4 a.m. and ruining the next day. You're just doing it during the day and you're getting most of those benefits.
Well, also you're finding your, as you call it, your tribe or your community, which, by the way, the biggest part of wellness and the most important piece of wellness and overall health has been shown to be socialization. Has been, loneliness is such an epidemic that people are like literally dying from loneliness.
Especially as we move into the technological age.
Well, yeah. And so like here, it gives people an opportunity to meet people and socialize doing like things that they like to do
For sure.
outside of this isolated area. Because a lot of things in like, a lot of things can
Especially
be
like real life, like physically together.
physically
Yeah.
together. That's what I'm saying.
Not
'Cause
digitally, like, which is maybe one step better than just being in your room by yourself. But like, I think like being on a Facebook group is not going to give you the same benefits, like in terms of your
Totally.
body and the wellness factor that you just mentioned.
Yeah,
I think you physically have to be around those people.
I totally agree. So to me, the community, the socialization is so important. What else is there that you think that would be a
In
good
terms of building habits,
at building habits that people can really stick to? Yeah.
I think there's a common theme because you can go into a million ways, right? But I think the
That work
binding,
though.
yeah, but there's a million little tricks you could use. But I'm saying one of the real common themes that binds it all together is the enjoyment piece, which you could take this the wrong way. People could take this the wrong way and saying, I always have to feel like doing something. And that's not true at all. Your feelings are really momentary and fleeting.
Yeah.
And you and I, at least with regard to the things that we're successful at and that we are doing well with, for example, fitness, we don't really pay much attention to our
No.
feelings because we know they're fleeting. But at the same time, we are doing something we're passionate and that we love. Like overall, we love our fitness and we're passionate and we do enjoy it.
Well, that's why I started this whole thing by saying like one of the first things that people should never rely on is motivation, right? And how they feel.
Yeah.
Because by the way, most of the things that I do in my life, I don't feel like doing them. I don't feel like waking up early and making the same sandwich or lunch for my kids every day. Like I don't feel like doing it, but I still do it, right? Because of the result, right? Because my kids will go to school without eating if I do that, right? And they'll starve.
But then going back to the thing I said before, let me ask you, with regard to like making your kids a sandwich or whatever, do you feel better after you've done it?
Yeah, I do
Right.
feel better because you know what? Like I feel like I mothered them, I took care of them, I nurtured them. That's what I'm saying. Like that's why you should never ever go by motivation or
Yeah.
feeling. I always rely on how I feel after the fact,
right.
not before the fact. And I think that is a really great reframe for people to start actually acting
Yeah.
versus being in this position where they procrastinate and they don't do it.
For sure.
Because by the way, what will happen is then you will feel badly about yourself that you didn't follow through
Oh
or you
yeah,
didn't do that
it's
thing.
a completely negative spiral. You're just going to spiral down at that point.
And that's a negative loop.
Right.
Right. And so that's the other thing. And like the other thing is like you don't need to spend a lot of money. You can do things super simple at home.
Oh yeah, with regard to fitness?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And so why I'm bringing that up is like really try to like reframe ideas in your head about like what is necessary to live a healthier, fitter life, right? Like again, like I'm bringing back this whole no gym required. I would love to bring back that book. It was like I wrote it in like 2009.
As a
but
gym owner, I wholeheartedly support that.
I don't thank you. Exactly. I was going to say you own a gym, but I never
No,
say.
but I love it. Like calisthenics and stuff. I do so much calisthenics in my gym.
By the way, like let's be clear, okay? So Liron is like ridiculous fit, like ridiculous. He has like a 20 pack. It's kind of sickening. Now, some of it's genetics. I don't care what you say.
If you saw my dad, you wouldn't say that.
Well, okay, I like to believe it's genetics. It makes me feel better. But a lot of the things that you do, and by the way, a lot of people I know who aesthetically look the best, it's not because they're using hardcore machines. They're doing a lot of body weight exercises. They're
sure.
doing a ton of pull-ups.
Yeah.
They're doing a ton of like walking lunges and isometric
My
holds and
philosophy,
push-ups.
my philosophy is exactly actually coming from that. Like, I think that you should, like, calisthenics should be your base, and then you add on to calisthenics. Like, if you can't do a body weight squat or a push up or a pull up, you shouldn't be doing heavy squats or bench press
Totally.
or
Get the
black.
basics down
Yeah,
first.
yeah, yeah,
And that's the other thing. I think that to build a fitness habit, and if you are a beginner, this is great for a beginner, is that I think that you get good at the basics
yeah,
before moving on to the big leagues,
yeah,
because I think what happens a lot of times is people feel they try to like do something that is beyond their fitness level,
yeah,
and then they can't do it, and it discourages you to do something again or to try it.
for
And
sure.
so by the way, that happens with people even like me who's been doing this forever, is that if I don't do the things that I don't like to do or I'm bad at, that's the thing. I'm bad at single leg squats, so I just stay away from them. Or I'm like really weak on this glute, so I don't want to do any kind of like exercises with that.
Do you
So
know what
like
helps with that a lot is
what?
something we spoke about earlier is the momentum piece. Like,
But
don't
wait, let me finish my thought.
yeah, go on.
Because my thought is this: that get really good at doing the basics, because that will give you pride and confidence and like self-esteem. Really
Right,
feel like, oh, I did this, I got this down. All right, I'll do it again. I'll
right,
keep
right.
on doing it. I'll go back. I'll do this. I'll do that, because
Yeah.
it gives you like a sense of, yeah, a feeling of like, wow, look at like, go me, as opposed to trying this thing and then like you can't do it and then you feel shitty and then you don't do it again. Okay, now
But
what were we
that's
gonna say?
exactly what I was gonna say is the momentum piece is start easy. Like your first workout
Yeah,
of a new program, or if you haven't worked out for a while or whatever, whenever you're starting a new phase of something, it should be dead easy. You should like just leave and be like, damn, probably could have done more, as opposed to crushing yourself right at the beginning, because the ego and even the body is not really ready for that at the beginning. You need to generate this, you need to get the snowball
yeah,
kind of rolling. And
totally.
most people want to jump in at the deep end and they wonder why they're drowning all the time. It's like, no, start easy, leave, come back, make it a little bit harder, leave, come back, make it a little bit harder. And before you know it, you're flying. But you got to start simple and easy and then generate the momentum.
I love that. Okay. I think that's good for our little short episodes here. So again, guys, if and again, this is stuff that I feel that's worked for people I know, my clients when I used to do it, me, you. And we might be missing a couple. Let me know if I am, but I think those are overall what really
I'm
help.
curious to see what other people find effective for them too. Like,
Yeah, me too. I'm
yeah,
always curious about
yeah.
that, like that's basically what we got going here. So try those out if you are new to fitness or you are having a problem. I shouldn't say problem. If you're having an issue sustaining, maintaining a fitness program, try to think about those things. Don't go to the gym. Make it as convenient for yourself as possible. Find a community, use it, use this is where technology actually can help, like like find something online where you can join a group where you can meet in real life, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Go to these like meetups at these coffee shops, and I'm sure there are some near you. And remember, it's not about the intensity, it's about the consistency. So start small. Just, don't try to overwhelm yourself by doing an hour, 2 hours a day. 30 minutes works just as well. So you'll see a really great incline, like you'll see a big jump or a great incline in your overall fitness level by just doing something over and over again, as opposed to killing yourself once and twice and never coming back again. Anything else?
Sums it up.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.